Hello friends and family, my name is Daniel Burrell and welcome to Diary of a Manic. Today's topic is going to be psychosocial development and environmental effects. So, essentially we're going to be talking about personality development and how you become you. So, we're going to start with Erikson's stages of psychosocial development. This is a psychoanalytic theory that identifies 8 stages that every healthy individual should go through. We'll go through only 5 of the 8 stages because the other 3 are really, they're not as interesting because it's old age and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, let's get started. So the first stage is called hope, and it occurs from approximately 0 to 2 years of age. The existential question here is, can I trust the world? So, the first stage is where children are most dependent. They're not sure when they'll be fed next, where their next meal will come from, whether their parents will be there when they wake up in the morning, whether they'll wake up in the morning. Like, it's all really scary. For infants, every uncomfortable experience is the worst experience they've gone through, so everything has a really dramatic effect. So whether they're held when they hurt themselves or something like that, that's really dependent on how they're gonna grow up. But we'll discuss that with environmental effects. We're going to do that at the end of the video. The second stage is 2 to 4 years and focuses more so on will and exploration. This stage is where children will develop their first interests. Children who play outside will become more interested in plants and animals, whereas children who play inside may enjoy music more and therefore play with the radio. As toddlers become more comfortable with their muscle control, they may make attempts at self-sufficiency. They'll begin to feed themselves, dress themselves, and use the bathroom. The third stage is purpose. At this stage, children are still exploring. They're making art and learning how to use simple tools, such as zippers, using spoons and forks properly, and even tying shoes. This age range is approximately 4 to 5 years old. At this stage, the child may want to begin and finish their own actions for a purpose. They begin to feel guilt, although their guilt is often misguided, and they will feel guilty over things that logically should not cause guilt. As well as in this stage, children will develop a sense of judgment. How this develops has a lot to do with environmental effects, so I'll discuss that later in the video. Sometimes the initiatives that children take will conflict with their parents' rules. Parents need to support their children. Parents need to emerge their children's emerging independence while maintaining appropriate controls. In the fourth stage of development, ranging from approximately 5 to 12 years of age, or 6 to 12, it's all relative to how you look at it. Children expand their social functioning beyond family to the broader social realm of the neighborhood and school. Children who do better in this let's nurture and social sphere, where productivity is highly valued, learn to value achievement and take pride in accomplishment, resulting in a sense of competence. At this stage, previous environmental effects will start to show a lot more. Will they put work before play? Will they be disobedient and talk back? This is where children begin to form moral values as well, seeing cultural and individual differences and making judgments upon what they believe is right or wrong, or what they have been taught is right or wrong. The last stage I'm going to cover in this video is Erikson's 5th stage of development, also known as identity versus role confusion. This is where the adolescent will become increasingly concerned of how they appear to others. This stage ranges from 12 to 19 years old approximately. As they progress from childhood to adulthood, they will eventually ponder the roles they will play in the adult world. So we're going to talk about environmental effects right now. There wasn't a lot of stuff to talk about with the last stage either. That's mostly environmental stuff that we can talk about in there. So, environmental effects in the first stage. If primary caregivers are neglectful or abusive, the infant will learn mistrust, which will teach them that the world is undependable and it is potentially dangerous. While the experiences are primarily negative, having some experience with mistrust also allows the infant to gain an understanding of hardships later in life. In the second stage, the parents are still a large factor. If the parents are highly restrictive, they may instill their children with a sense of doubt and reluctance to accept new challenges. This stage is often where children will start mimicking parents or other caregivers. Language starts developing in this stage, so the children will mimic their caregivers in that regard, as well as copying some of their traits, such as wearing their clothes, wearing their shoes, or copying behaviors. If parents demand too much too early, children may develop shame and doubt their ability to handle their own problems. But if the parents don't demand enough, then they don't have enough of a sense of purpose, and they may develop that. In the third stage, the preschool teacher, babysitter, or daycare staff will have more effect. If they encourage the children's efforts and projects, while also helping them make realistic and appropriate choices, children develop initiative and independence. On the other hand, if they dismiss their projects as silly or bothersome, children will develop guilt about their needs and desires. Friends and extended family will have a large part to play in the fourth stage of development. Other individuals who may influence are celebrities, cartoon characters, superheroes, school teachers, who are also superheroes, by the way. These individuals may have an effect on the child, or these individuals' effects on the child may vary. So I don't want to get really into the details because it's kind of how they teach makes how it works. So yeah. As I said before, this is where morals are developed, so typically this will be a prime influence by those individuals as well. So if the primary caregivers are racially insensitive, then the child will probably grow up to be racially insensitive as well. And that will begin here. Whereas if they go to school and they meet a black kid, then they'll say, hey, you're my friend because you're here. And they won't care. But if their parents teach them, or other caregivers for that matter, if they teach them that they're not supposed to be friends with this person, then they won't want to be friends with that person. It's as simple as that. As far as the fifth stage of development goes, excuse me, teachers and other older individuals will typically not be as large of influences. It will be older siblings, older kids in school, celebrities, or even video game characters who may have an influence. Now, don't get all in a tizzy about that last statement, because I'm not saying that video game characters will greatly affect their judgment and cause violence. I'm saying that they may take small influences from game characters, presumably adolescents, presumably adolescents should have good enough morals and enough common sense to know that Grand Theft Auto is a video game and driving around shooting people is actually wrong. If you instill them with those values that that's wrong, and it's not going to cause violence. But I digress. I'll continue that talk in another video because I'm definitely going to talk about that. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you want me to do cultural influences on psychosocial development. I didn't want to get into that today because that would make the video 5 times longer because, let's face it, like Canadians and Chinese and Japanese and Middle Eastern and children from the United Kingdom, they're all raised differently with different cultural values. So yeah, let me know if you want me to do that, and yeah, like and subscribe if you enjoyed my videos. And last but not least, guys, thanks for watching and have a great day.